Hey, what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoyed it. On3 released a big, massive update to their recruiting rankings. And the question is, because look, a lot of the LSU recruits moves around in it, right? A lot of Louisiana kids moves around it. Where did LSU fall post-reshuffle? Well, it should come as no surprise that LSU still has the number one class for 2025. In fact, if anything, Jake, when you look at the reshuffle, it was just a validation of the incredible class that this team, that this staff is currently putting together. Bryce Underwood, still QB1, number one player in the nation, no question about it. Have we ever talked about Bryce Underwood's stats last year? Like his raw numbers from last season?
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit.
Well, let's just say we didn't, Taylor. Shut up. Bryce Underwood as a junior threw for 3,300 yards while completing 65% of his passes, 41 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 12.4 yards per attempt. So not thinking, just big play after big play. Also ran for 7 more touchdowns. How about this? Taylor, did we talk about this? I bet you didn't know this. Turned 17 in August. He's playing a year up. He's not even, he should have been a sophomore last year. He's going to be 17 as a senior. He's going to be 17 his entire senior year. He'll be 17 when he gets to LSU. He won't turn 18 till right before camp starts.
So a lot like Colin Hurley did that.
No, yeah. I know. That's what I'm saying. What's up with all these quarterbacks just being they're just it's insane to me. So Bryce Underwood still number one. DeCorian Moore, still the number one wide receiver in the entire country. Number 3 overall player in the entire country. Think about this. At 5'11", 175 as well. Might have ourselves a little college Tyreek Hill coming here. 68 catches for him, 1,500 yards, 18 touchdowns, and another championship for Duncanville High School. And then Harlem Berry, guess what? Still the number 1 running back in the entire country. Still a top 10 player in the entire country. And I love the On3 piece. They point out the Harlem Berry commitment comes 10 years after Frank Wilson got Leonard Fournette. To the date almost. Basically 10-year anniversary of Fournette. You have another number 1 running back in the entire country emerging out of Louisiana, and he is firmly committed to the Tigers.
So the class held up.
The class held up. But so I don't want you to think, though, that this was all just a big hoodwink, because there were some interesting changes. One of them being JT Lindsey. So we talked about Harlem Berry. We've talked about James Simon. Where's James Simon at?
Calvary.
Okay, yeah. So we talked about James Simon. They're going hard after James Simon. But JT Lindsey, crap, I forgot. Where's JT Lindsey go? Taylor, do you know?
He's off the top of my head.
Another Louisiana running back, Jake. He was unranked. He's now a 4-star top 150 player in the entire country.
Oh, he's at Alexandria.
Yeah, there we go. So
Ash?
shut it out.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out my former teammates, the head coach there. Shout out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
My dad's alma mater.
Oh, that's right. I forgot your dad's a 3-1 great.
Thank you, Taylor. So JT,
hey, I appreciate that.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, we were making all the connections.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. No. So JT Lindsey, how about that? Unranked, now a 4-star, number 143, 11th running back in the country. So the question is, Jake, is this a situation? Do you try to somehow get all 3 running backs? Or do you pursue all 3 and you just got to land 2 of the 3?
Now, maybe you know this better than I do. Well, maybe they were a year before you. I believe you got Keelan Williams, Charles Scott, and Richard Murphy all in the same class.
They were all the same age. I don't know if they were the same class. I don't know if somebody redshirted, but they were all the same age.
Well, I think they all came in, I'm saying, at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And they were all incredibly high rated, and all 3 of those players certainly helped LSU at one point or another. So, it's been done before, and that all 3 are guys from in-state and kind of different areas of the state, 2 from North Louisiana and then Keelan from the Lafayette area. So it's been done before, and it's actually paid off for LSU. And so it's not crazy to think that they could take all 3 running backs. Now, you're going to prioritize kind of it is. It's a very hard sell. You do have a position where LSU, more than any other team I can remember, rotates guys, and there's not really true like Clyde Edwards-Helaire is like the one guy that was the main RB1 and nobody else was really going to come in. He played 92% of the snaps in 2019. Outside of that, though, like everybody's been like, even like Leonard Fournette had guys that would come in and spell him a little bit, and Darrell Williams and other guys. And so it's been done before, but I just don't know where your priorities are as far as, okay, this is our 1, this is our 2, this is our 3, this is our 4. Like, how far is the distance between 1 and 2, and then 2 and 3 if you want to take all 3 guys? I'm looking at his offer list right now, and it's going to start to pick up. You know how this works, T-Bob. You get a ranking like this, and you get more eyeballs on you, and then now people pay attention to you. They watch the tape, and they like it. But he's already got offers. If we're just going here in the Power 5 from Houston, Mississippi State, Pitt, and Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Oh, so I mean, and that again, like Jake said, I imagine that would increase. The point is, or not the point, but to me, look, yeah, obviously Harlem Berry's priority number 1. You've got you hopefully can you've got him locked up. You hopefully can eventually land him and get him signed. And then I don't think you can really go wrong with James Simon or JT Lindsey after that if you want to go after either guy. And yeah, it feels like you're going to be very well set up. There's also some exciting offensive linemen to keep an eye on. There is Lamont Rogers. This cat's 6'7", 305. He's from Mesquite, Texas. Number 58 overall player in the country. He sets another top 100. He's considered a heavy LSU lean. And then there's Micah DeBose, a top 150 player in the entire country. 6'4", 221 from Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile.
Considered a heavy LSU lean. So Brad Davis doing a very good job going into a couple of neighboring states. Well, potentially, we'll see what ends up happening, but at least the experts thinking he's doing a very good job with them thus far. And for what it's worth, we've talked about Dorian Brew on this show, the great athlete / defensive back whose mother was an Ohio State track star, whose father was an LSU track All-American star, and is who's going to decide between the two. He is flirting with getting a 5-star rating as well. So in the reshuffling, LSU comes out arguably looking even better than they did before. And this 2025 class, if you can keep it together, if you can land this class, it could be one of the most impactful, one of the most historic in school history. And that's not an exaggeration. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a class where a single team has gotten the number 1 quarterback, running back, and wide receiver in the country.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that either, and certainly it would be quite the haul considering some of those guys are from Louisiana, which is always important, but some of those guys are from outside of the area, so it shows you where the recruiting map is for LSU. And a couple things here. Like players from Mobile, Alabama, I would love to see LSU kind of really get back in the Mobile area. Yeah. They've had some real success, and Jamarcus Russell, Chavis Jackson, just to name a few, but there's certainly been others. And it is a place, and you and I we go there every year, and we always talk about it. There's not just one school in Mobile. It's not like it's Alabama. It's Alabama, it's Auburn, and it's LSU. Mm-hmm. Like it's like 33.3% for all those schools. And so like you see a lot of LSU stuff when you're in Mobile. So there's already, there's a footprint for LSU to go in there and to be able to get players, and it's some really good football. Like my brother-in-law played in that area. I went and watched Phillip Rivers coach. He coaches in that area as well. They had state champions from that area and in the state of Alabama. Like there's some real talent, real resources and money put into some of these programs. Yeah. I mean, you got coaches making like 6 figures in most of these programs in the Mobile area. So like the talent is there. LSU already has fans in that area. So families grow up watching LSU football. I would love to see them get back in that area, start to get, if it's 5 players in a 5-year period, like there's players there that I think can move the needle.
Well, and there's no more Nick, right?
Yeah.
So, that cannot be ignored in all of this. There's no more Jimbo in Texas either. And LSU seems to be taking advantage thus far. And last thing I'd say on this class, you could almost argue that it's taking and I really like this. Well, actually, I don't know if this is accurate. I was going to say that it's a bit opposite from last class where you did all the foundational work, establishing like a great base, and then you peppered in some big names at the very end, whereas now you have the big names, and now you can do the foundational Louisiana work. And there's truth to that. But then again, they kind of have both already. I mean, they've got how many of the top 10 in Louisiana committed already. I want to say it's like 8 or 9.
Yeah, it's like at least 8. It might be 9.
It might be 9.
So actually, they're doing both. They've already got the big names, and they're already really putting together a solid, concrete base of Louisiana talent.
I think it's 8. One's committed elsewhere, and then Simon is a heavy lean towards LSU.
Yeah.
So that would be the 10th guy there. I like how On3 does this, by the way. Like, if you're looking at the running back position, like I'm looking at Harlem Berry's profile right now, it tells you how many running backs have been drafted from that school in the last 5 years, and also how many total players you've had drafted from that school. LSU, 37 players drafted in the last 5 years. The only one on this list that has more would be Georgia at 41.
Damn.
But you have more than Michigan at 32. You have more than Alabama at 36. There's another school that was up there. Ohio State's got 32. So it's kind of a cool layout of how many guys you've got drafted. Georgia's had 4 running backs drafted in the last 5 years. LSU's had 2. I was surprised to see this. Ole Miss, 12 players drafted. 3 were running backs.
Huh. Ben Jarvis. No,
the law firm, baby.
I'm just kidding.
Gosh, I wish I could give you another one, but that's the one. Like, as soon as you said Ole Miss running back, I was going to try to use that one.
Well, I mean, Zach Evans got drafted last year, too. So
that's true.
Oh, yeah, I guess that technically.
Yeah, because his last year was at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
All right, so there it is. A little Cruton for you all there. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.